Hello, welcome to the Bible for Life ministry. I'm Nick Crawley, and this month we're looking at the extraordinary book tucked away at the end of the New Testament, the book of Revelation. And it's what a fascinating book it is. It may well be that you are deliberately looking at it because you are mystified by it, you love it, and yet you're wondering, what on earth is this about? It's clearly about the end of the world, it's about the future in some way, and it's about Jesus Christ, and it's about what's going to happen, and clearly it's about Jesus winning. But the question is, how does that all work? Now, one of the things we need to do straight at the beginning is to be determined to have a disciplined approach to this. Very often in history, people have just written down absolutely anything they think, and then claimed it to be the truth, and that's not good enough. We need a disciplined approach to this. And the first chapter itself is very clear. It gives us indications about how we should approach this book. First of all, it is a letter. Verse 4 says it's from John, and it's written to the seven churches in Asia, we would say southwestern Turkey. And so it's specifically for one person to a group of churches. Secondly, it says quite clearly that it's a prophecy. This is a prophetic message. Verse 3, blessed is the one who reads aloud the words of this prophecy. And right at the end of chapter 22, it again says that this is a prophetic message. And the third key word is actually the very, very first word, apocalypsis in Greek, or as we translate revelation. It is the revelation of Jesus Christ. And apocalyptic language, it's a type of genre that flourished in the intertestamental period. That's after the composition of the Old Testament, and in between, up until the New Testament was written, and then overlapping in that first century. So it's a type of literature, and the easiest way of understanding it is that it is like a political cartoon. If you look at today's newspaper, you will almost certainly see somewhere inside a political cartoon and of cartoon figures. And we know that the people don't actually look like that, but the cartoons represent people, perhaps the Prime Minister or the Queen or somebody, a celebrity or a situation in the nation. And these cartoons represent what's going on. And that's the sort of thing that we have in the book of Revelation. So we need to approach it like that. It's a letter written by a man who's a pastor giving a prophetic message to the churches, and it's written in a certain type of style of literature. So who's writing? Well, it's John. It could be John the Apostle. It could possibly be somebody associated with him, but I would be happy to work with John the Apostle. And he's writing around about AD 95. There's a considerable agreement among the scholars on this. Actually, at the end of the reign of Emperor Domitian. There was persecution which was beginning to come at that stage, or at least the signs of it beginning again. The earlier persecution had been under Nero in the in AD 60s, and that had been severe. It had been in Rome, and since then there hadn't actually been much persecution. But at the end of Emperor Domitian's reign, there seems to be a persecution coming again. And John himself has stood before the Roman court and escaped with his life, and is now on the island of Patmos, and he prophesies and brings this message to the people. So it's the seven churches. Seven is the number of completeness, and so the seven churches represent all the churches that exist and throughout time. And the first thing that this book is about is that Jesus is Lord. Jesus is described in the first chapter and throughout the book with all the imagery from the Old Testament that describes God, and there is a considerable amount of this. Jesus takes the place of God. So, for example, he is the Lamb in the centre of the throne, and he is worshipped along with God, and we might explore this later in the work and in the pods. So there's an introduction to Revelation. In the next video, I'm going to be looking at the four main ways in which we understand that this message is for the church in the future. So that's the next video coming up.